All right, welcome, ladies and gents. Let's talk box office. This is, of course, your weekly box office roundup. We've got Barbie news, Oppenheimer, Gran Turismo, and Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle dropped 48% in its second week. Not great. It follows the trend. I will say, actually, it's a less significant drop than what I thought it would, and also what traditionally DC and Marvel movies have done. So it's actually doing better on a second week drop than normal superhero movies, and I think that's that strong word of mouth. The word of mouth has been very, very good about this movie. So it's not. Is it a surprise? Kind of, but also not. People are just showing up, it seems, for it, even though it's not making a lot of money. In fact, it's made basically no money. I mean, it hasn't. It's still lost money. So let's dive into this today. Hit subscribe. Turn the bell notifications on. Let's go. Blue Beetle passes $80 million worldwide after a 48% second weekend domestic drop. Terrible, actually. $80 million worldwide. If it follows the same kind of trajectory that, you know, The Flash and Shazam did, it's it's not great. $140 million is its projected. Maybe $170 million. It had a reported $120 million budget without marketing costs, so it's not brilliant. It is a huge flop. Even this article is like, not exactly the disastrous flop it's being labelled as either. No, it is. Because that $80 million that it's made worldwide, the studio only gets, on average, 50% of that. So they've made $40 million. Oh, that's a loss. So, not great. Painful, actually. But the winner of this week's box office was, believe it or not, Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo won it, basically. So Barbie, though, reached $1.34 billion. I think it's the biggest movie of the year now, beating out Super Mario Brothers. Cool, great. Oppenheimer, as well as Barbie, massive successes, $800 million global. So let's take a look at this. Barbie poised to become the highest grossing Warner Brothers movie of all time globally on Monday. I will say that's surprising because Warner Brothers had the likes of Harry Potter. Oh, and Lord of the Rings. So I do wonder, adjusted for inflation, I don't think Barbie would be the highest grossing movie of all time because those movies gross a lot of money. They were big earners back in the day, and you adjust for inflation. And also on a ticket-by-ticket basis, this is also important to note, ticket prices are more expensive now, but there's also variable ticket pricing as well on top of it. Whereas back in the day, the likes of Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, etc., where they reached astronomical sums of cash, it was kind of like a flat fee. So if you're taking that into account, even though on paper it looks like a lot of money, foot traffic for any movie that you see now, whether they compare it to an older movie or not, is going to be less. The actual foot traffic, bums on seats, will be less, even if it's hitting more money. Obviously not astronomically high, but it's just an important thing to note there. But anyway, so essentially it's $1 million separating it from Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. But again, adjust that for inflation. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 still probably beats out Barbie. But yeah, 1.34. I think that hits Super Mario Brothers. Pretty certain. So probably the highest grossing movie of the year. Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, again, has reached $777.2 million. Setting the Universal title firmly on track to cross $800 million in the very near future, if it stays on. Now, what was interesting about this is apparently Christopher Nolan did actually travel to China this week. Interesting. Just going to leave that one there for anyone to say. I'm surprised he's able to do that based on the strikes, actually. Yeah, I'm surprised he's able to do that because of the strikes, but never mind. So, international box office. Oppenheimer was the leader internationally. 82 markets, $29.1 million it hit. Only a 31% drop, apparently, as well. So the offshore is $477.2 million to date. Really, really good. Really, really good. It surpassed The Dark Knight overseas. Again, adjust that for inflation. Probably not brilliant, but never mind. Yeah, so fine, sure. That's fine. And these sort of breakdowns that you've got here. Germany dropped just 15%. It's already known as biggest film ever in Germany. The markets themselves are holding very, very strong. Very, very strong. Oppenheimer specifically has passed The Dark Knight, Avengers Age of Ultron, Black Panther. In the UK, it's basically breaking every single record for Nolan, as well as those markets for Nolan as well. So, Barbie, $18.2 million in her sort of 6th weekend out. Not bad, pretty damn good. 75 markets open. And it just goes to the strength and power of that brand IP. It's an absolute smash hit success. And the drops are tiny. I mean, Germany, 7% drop. Holland, 10% drop. These are tiny drop-offs, man. UK is quite high, but it's been out in the UK universally worldwide. And most people would have seen that first weekend. It did big numbers. So it surpassed Joker to become the 3rd biggest Warner Brothers title of all time internationally. All kinds of records. Barbie's also the biggest Warner Brothers title ever in 36 markets, including the UK, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand. This is what I mean. So although it's dropped off dramatically in the UK, that's because everyone went out to watch it the first time. Warner Brothers Meg 2. I'm surprised this is doing as good as it is. It's got $352.5 million global at the moment. Pretty bloody good. It's trundling along nicely. It really is. It's done really, really well. Now, domestically, Gran Turismo is actually the opener. It is the opening weekend #1, basically. But apparently it's been expanded to Latin America and Southeast Asia. So $11 million, total of 61 offshore markets. So not massive, but the total that it's taken is not great. $36.5 million, down just 28%. So, yeah, not great. Yeah, $53.8 million global, alongside the North America launch. So, we'll see how that one goes. But these kind of movies, car movies, don't traditionally do massively well. They're a bit of a niche market. They're a niche market. And then we've got some other films which are just lagging behind. And we've got Disney's Pixar still. Elemental, $468.8 million. Still trundling along nicely. I think the real surprise here is these movies, these sort of lower movies down here. So, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, not a smash hit success, but a movie which still has legs. So, $552.1 million global, which I'm pretty certain, you know, if you were to say that opening weekend, people would doubt that they would even cross the $500 million mark. But it's holding on nicely. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, $135.1 million global, pretty damn good. And Strays, $21.4 million global, which is a shame because I really liked that movie. Thought that was great. And Haunted Mansion is still a huge bomb with $91.7 million global. So there you have it. There is our box office roundup. But back to Blue Beetle. Not great. I'm surprised actually they didn't mention Blue Beetle in here. I'm very, very, very surprised to see that. You'd think that they would. Second week, they haven't mentioned it at all. But it's a 48.9% drop for Blue Beetle. Now, you know, it's past $80 million worldwide. It's not great, okay? It's not brilliant. It's going to lose money. Is this a surprise? Is it, you know, an expected turn of events because James Gunn announced everything was going to cancel? Yeah, I would say so. But there you have it. Not much else to go into. That's our box office roundup. Barbie still smashing it. The highest Warner Brothers title or ever, almost. Getting there. But not adjusted for inflation. Important to note that. Blue Beetle. Massive flop. Shame. You know, arguably, apparently it is a decent film. But again, it's one of those films that if you... It doesn't matter how good it is. If no one's interested in it, no one's interested in it. It seems no one was interested in this. Never mind. Anyway, what do you think? Let me know down below. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.